Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. You've got Darren Little here, and we are live in the success vortex where positivity meets. Guys, I have got the great pleasure today to share with you just such an amazing and inspirational story. Literally a story from rags to riches, a story of overcoming every area, every obstacle, and a person that was so focused and so driven on their dream that they literally went all in. And this is such an inspirational story. Welcome to the call, Chad Ogsted. How are you today?
Doing amazing, Darren. How are you doing today?
Really, really good.
Awesome.
Chad, you got such an amazing story, just a story of complete transformation, a story that I believe that's going to literally inspire millions of people around the world to know what's possible when they apply these strategies, when they tap into the power of their mind, when they get emotionally connected to their dream and their vision, and they really go all in. So tell us a little bit about your background, where did you come from, and where were you at prior to going through subconscious mind tapping?
Awesome, Darren. Yeah, well, I appreciate you, man, so much for bringing me on here. So about 10 years ago, I started my first network marketing company. I called thousands and thousands and thousands of leads, got completely burnt out, quit that, got really depressed, got hooked on video games, and actually got stuck in like this ridiculous, like this whole like depression. And I ended up coming out about 2 years later. I was like almost a recluse for those 2 years where I didn't really leave the house much. I just played video games and that was about it. And kind of came out of it and I decided that I needed to do something different. And so I started getting into sales, like door-to-door sales. I call it sales. I sold cable, I sold the lawn care, I sold all kinds of different stuff. But I always had this vision of being able to make money online and being able to have a team and be able to have leveraged income and be an entrepreneur. So I was searching for something that whole time. For the next 4 years, I was looking for something that could kind of change my life, that could, that I could work, that was really like from home or where an island or wherever, so to have freedom, basically.
Interesting. So tell us a little bit about, what interested you the most when you heard about this concept of subconscious mind tapping. What got into your head to say, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to break through. I'm going to unlock the keys to success, and I'm getting to my breakthrough.
Yeah, for sure, man. One of the biggest things is I actually went to a huge seminar once, and they had it was really, really good stuff. I was motivated, this and that. I got some good ideas, some training and stuff. But when it came down to it, I didn't feel congruent in my body, right? I didn't feel like, so I felt like consciously I had all the success stuff that I could just spit out there. Subconsciously, I was like broken. I had worthiness issues. I didn't feel like I deserved success. And so when it was subconscious, like basically being able to change from the inside, that's what really got me excited to really because the outside stuff is such a small amount of really what helps us have success.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a really good point. So let me ask you this: when you started going through the training and hearing about some of these different concepts of the human condition and quantum physics and how our brains are actually programmed to self-destruct, what were some of the things that were going on in your mind? And when you started to go through some of these concepts and ideas, what happened to your thought process? Did your mind expand? Did it open it up? Did you feel any differently? Tell us about what happened for you when you started to hear about some of these ideas.
Yeah, definitely, man. So I had some success online. I was making somewhere between $3,000 and $8,000 a month consistently online. When I started going through, I did the first training with you and everything, and I I really, the next month, my money actually, my income tripled almost. Yeah, it pretty much tripled, right? And because I just, it's funny. It's like sometimes you think that you need to be positioned here. This is like your little place in the industry. But really the truth is it's like you can do much more. You have like you're worthy of like way more success, and a lot of times it's just us holding ourselves down and like causing us to hold back and not take action, not or at least to take action on bigger things and be able to accept other success into your life.
So let me ask you this, because I know that you've been on the path of personal development. You've gone to, I think I saw some stuff where you were going to a spiritual retreat or a Tony Robbins event. How did the ease of going through this product compare to other trainings that you've gone through in the past? Was it easy to take in the message and digest it for you and understand it and then start to take action to apply it into your life?
Yeah, man, it's I felt like it was like a really step-by-step process. And like we were kind of explaining, I was kind of talking to you earlier. I was like, I need, for something that's this specific, and you've kind of came up with a specific like blueprint kind of thing. I need a step-by-step, a way to go. I like having all these different concepts thrown at you and have all this stuff. It's cool because it fills your mind where you can have conversations and people, but to actually get to a successful point, and I need the step by step. I don't need like a bunch of different concepts. You know what I mean? And that's what kind of your product and being able to work with you is allowed me to do, or allowed me to have.
Fantastic. Chad, I want you to really just give people a little bit of a snapshot, just so that they can get an idea of this transformation that's taken place for you just in a relatively short period of time. Maybe share with the people here so that they can get an idea of, where you were at, like when you very first started,
Yeah.
and what you had to do, what you actually had to do to be able to break through, to be able to start a business for yourself, to get to your first, I think it was like a $4,500 a month from zero. What did you actually have to do in order to make that happen? Because I mean, I remember hearing stuff about you selling your car and CDs. Tell us the story about how that all happened.
Yeah, so I was in a business and I had brought in about maybe 50 people at the time, just kind of hustling, just kind of building relationships and doing some stuff. And I had this one girl come in and she had messaged me on Facebook. She said, "Hey, Chad, are you all in this company?" And I wasn't at the time. And because I didn't have the money, and it was like a $3,500 buy-in to get that product. And she was like, "Well, I'm cashing in my 401k. I'm doing this or that to get the money to get that product. How soon can you get it?" And I'm like, "I don't know. You give me a few days." And so I ended up selling CDs, TVs, clothing, everything that I pretty much had. And then I still didn't have enough. I borrowed $1,500 from an offline mentor. Then that wasn't enough. And then I actually drove my car around to different dealerships, and I basically pitched it to them, and nobody wanted to give me any money for it. They just kept on giving me the amount that I owed on it. And then I got creative and like started getting resourceful in my mind. I came in at like a different angle. Like I said, "Hey, I have a guy that'd be willing to do the work for me. But I need this money now. You give me this much money now, and then I'll have him come in this weekend and do the rest of the work, and then Monday I'll come in and get the rest of the money." And I did the math wrong, and where I was like $100 short. And so I come back in Monday and I go, "Hey, where's my check?" Basically. And they're like, "Oh, well, we sold your car. I mean, no, your guy never showed up." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, where's my car?" He's like, "Yeah, we sold it." I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding? Well, really?" And they sold my car, and then I had to go and take a watch that had sentimental value to me. It was a Breitling. I had another mentor in the door-to-door field, and he given to me, and it was this really nice, heavy Breitling. This is the thing I didn't really realize or consciously know or something. He actually was importing rice from Cambodia, and he was telling me how he'd go over to Cambodia, and all these people they would pitch him, you know, watches and Louis Vuitton bags and all this stuff. And he's like, yeah, you know, Breitlings and this stuff, it doesn't come from Italy, it comes from Cambodia. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I was naive, I don't know. But so I take it into a pawn shop and I go, hey, I want to sell this watch. And they're like, is it real? And I'm like, you know what, man, I don't know. And then so he had this guy come in and he's like looking at it. He's like, sorry, it's not real, this and that. And we can't buy it as a store. And so this is how broke I was at the time. I needed for $100. I couldn't come up with $100. And so I go, the guy goes, you know what, man, we can't buy it as a store, but I'll give you $100 for it. I really like this watch. And I'm like, okay. So I took it and I went and put it in the bank. And the next day I had a $4,150 day. And I leveraged that into an $8,000 month and then a $12,000 month. And I really just kind of launched my business from there. So kind of come fast forward March, I'm consistently doing 3,000 to 8,000 on a monthly basis, some months more. Next month, April, I have a $21,000 month. And now, 6 months later, I'm actually launching a mastermind for with 3 7-figure earners coming to train at it, multiple 6-figure earners. We filled one house, and we're actually on our way to filling the second house. And so, just from what I've learned from you and some other things, I've really just been able to go from just kind of getting by in network marketing, online stuff, to just like things have just really kind of blown up. Not just income wise, but like, you know, responsibility, brand, just kind of, I've been able to step up. My power has really jumped out there, right?
Fantastic. So let me ask you this, Chad. Like, you know, because what I kind of witnessed, and it was kind of wild because, you know, we went through a bunch of concepts and ideas, and it's like, it's almost like your income just like literally went vertical within 30 days. Is that pretty accurate?
Very, very accurate.
So let me ask you this, besides the, you know, the financial, which is obviously important,
Mm-hmm.
have there been any other shifts that have started happening for you in relationships, in your health, in emotional, with your family, with, you know, any other area with business associates and like that? Have you seen any other shifts that have taken place in some of those other areas as well?
Yeah, you know what, man? I guess I didn't really realize it till now, but there's been 2 spots of my life that have kind of made a big shift. You know, it's easy for me to kind of sink back into that almost recluse behavior. You know, even though I'm a very social person, it's really strange. It's like, um, you know, uh, because my family isn't like really on the motivational side, they're not really entrepreneurial. It's really easy for me to like kind of step back from them, even though I love them dearly and stuff like that. So what I've been able to do is find out a way that I can really be able to spend a lot more time with them and really enjoy their company and be able to kind of just really more bond. Like I didn't really have like I didn't feel like I really had a relationship with my family before, and I believe that that's actually really improved 100, 500% over the last 3 to 6 months. And so that's one. And the second one is my health, or fitness at least. I've dropped 15 pounds of pretty much fat. So I was 180 pounds, I think, at my like height, weight. I'm only well, I sketch out 5'9" on my driver's license, but I don't know if that's true. And so I'm 180. I was 180 pounds. Now I'm 165, and I'm probably in the best shape of my life. And so being able to, yeah, really do that. So.
Wow, fantastic. That's great. Those are really some major. I mean, when you think about this, when you think about what are some of the biggest areas for people that they would want to have a shift in? I mean, a lot of people are so stressed out about their finances. Well, that seems to be taken care of now. A lot of people don't have that close bond with their family members. They're fighting with their parents, or they're fighting with their siblings. They don't have that type of, sort of unity with a family unit, right? So it's another area. And also health and fitness is probably one of the biggest challenges that people have, because when you're in that sort of, the deservability and the worthiness and the self-talk, that actually creates a spiral where we can't get out of the health and fitness zone, because all of it stems back to self-love, right? And when we open up this gateway and we start to feel worthy and deserving, and we love ourselves more, boom, all of a sudden the breakthrough happens. And that really gets back to some of these strategies. So let me ask you this. I know that now you're connected with a lot of six-figure, multiple six-figure, seven-figure income earners. Did you ever imagine, back maybe 2 years ago when you were playing video games, or back in that time, that you would ever be in a situation where you are now, where you've got freedom, where you're traveling around the world, where you're speaking on stage, where you're motivating and inspiring other people and helping them actually transform their lives? Did you ever think that that was possible when you were playing video games, not even leaving the house, that would be the reality?
It's funny. Not at that moment. It's funny because it is funny. I was really driven at the video game, and it got sucked in, and so I always saw myself as, or not like, I always knew that I would kind of make it. I thought I was doing something that was worthwhile at that time, and then I didn't realize it was depression until like I realized at the end, like when I was starting to like really kind of slip down. So at the beginning, I'd probably say yeah, but then after a while, you're like, what is wrong with you? Why aren't you doing this or that? And then like you just beat yourself up, and it just, you get deeper and deeper and deeper down the hole. And so yes and no. It's like I always had a thing back in my mind that knew that I could be successful, knew that I could do whatever I wanted. I just it was way beat back down there. You know what I mean?
Wow. So let me ask you this. What type of a person would you recommend to go through subconscious mind tapping?
So I find the biggest one is going to be people that feel like they're taking action, they're doing everything consciously that they believe they feel like they're just kind of hitting an imaginary wall that doesn't really exist, right? That it's like you keep going, and then it stops, and though that's the person I believe is going to have the biggest results with this, because there is something stopping you, and it's you, and you need this to break through that, to get over yourself. And so that's the biggest one. Really, anybody obviously can get benefits. I believe that thing that, like, and it's sometimes you don't even realize it until you actually recognize that's, because sometimes I mean, well, here's some of the challenges I had. I would take a ton of action, and then I wouldn't get the results I was looking for, and then I would get discouraged. So if you're that type of person, then this is going to be beneficial for you. If it's It's just a ton, like those type of things that you can't really put your finger on it, why you haven't had success or why you haven't had the level of success that you really wanted, because it's something out of that you don't. It's not conscious in your perception.
Isn't that really interesting how that works? Because it's almost like having a veil, right? Where you can't fully see. Like, it's hard to drive a car if there's if there's a white sheet over the window, right? It's pretty hard to you can't see the road, right?
Yeah.
So, of course you're going to end up steering into the rocks when you've got no vision of where to even go or what to do. And
Right.
that is one of the biggest challenges I believe that most people go through, is that they don't actually even know what's wrong, right? So it's very easy to go into one of these and then not even know what to do to get out of it, right? And that's what becomes really scary for people, is that where do they go? Where do they turn? What do they do? And most people, they need something that's easy to be able to implement, that's going to, that little tiny tweak that's going to open up that gateway to that brand new reality.
Yep.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you've got Darren Little here with the Success Vortex. You've been listening to Chad Ogsted, now into a peak performer zone, guys, from where he was at, just a couple of years ago. And that is a dramatic shift in a person's reality. Now, he's actually leading these events where he's bringing in the 7-figure income earners, the multiple 6-figure income earners, and actually orchestrating that to now help other people to get to their breakthrough. And that's what can happen for you too. So what I would encourage you to do is this: throw your hat over the wall, click this link below, take action, go through subconscious mind tapping, implement the strategies into your life. And I can tell you this: once you go through this information, once you take action and implement these simple little tweaks into your life, literally a brand new reality will open up for you so that you can have these type of breakthroughs too. So you've got Darren Little here with the Success Vortex. I look forward to meeting you in person one day, and look forward to seeing you at the top. Bye for now.